have a librarian that my kiddos absolutely adore, if there are more homeschool thing that you could say. But, maybe write them a little note and thank them for how they supported you this year.
Welcome to the Homeschool Perspective, where seasoned homeschooling moms share tips, insights, and resources to empower your homeschool journey. Join us for real conversations and actionable advice. Welcome to our first ever resource episode. So in these episodes, we are going to highlight resources that are going to help you on your homeschooling journey. So these are resources that are just going to help you have your homeschooling easier in some way. So today we're bringing you a freebie and some fun ideas to really make the end of the school year more enjoyable for your whole family. So even though you may have a more rolling year-round type of a homeschool like many of us do, you can still have a fun time to transition into summer. And that's what we're going to be talking about, how to wrap up the end of the year and fun celebrations that can become traditions if your kids enjoy them. Some fun things that you can do to celebrate this time of year. So Lisa, why don't you start us off by talking about some of those fun things that you can do for reflections?
Absolutely. So, of course, we love to talk about moments and keeping things sweet and special in our home. I am all about easy. So, one fun thing that you can do is have your kids gather their favorite activities from the year and have a night where you make a gallery and you display things. You can hang them on the refrigerator with magnets on a whiteboard. You can use a bulletin board, whatever you have, and let everybody share why they love it and talk about it over family dinner and just enjoy celebrating the fun things together. Another option is a year in review photo. You can airplay the images on your phone from the year, make some popcorn and view, discuss, and talk about your memories together. And then there's the fun one, the end of the year MadLib. Ask each child or do it all together to fill in this MadLib and read about your school adventures. In fact, we like that one so much, we've made that a freebie that you can download. And last but certainly not least on my list is interviewing your kids. You can do this on paper or you can set up your phone and do videos and just ask a set of simple questions or conduct an interview with them to record their thoughts in the past year and also their aspirations for next year. You can talk about favorite subjects, most memorable projects, and even personal growth.
I love that. We have some really fun videos that we have done. My husband has recorded my kids just asking them super, simple questions, but their responses are hilarious. So I love that. He did it for Mother's Day one year. So special.
Aww, that's so sweet.
And we go back and we watch them every year because he put them on Facebook and now we have them and, we can just refer back to them. So those are fun. I'm going to talk about some different celebration activities, some things that you can do in just to wrap up the year doing things together. One of the things that we do is to bake a cake. I've mentioned this before, where we bake a cake when we finish math, because that is a challenging subject to get through. And it's one that I require my kids to finish each year, is their level of math. So we bake a cake together. You could do this at the end of any challenging subject, at the end of the year. So baking a cake together is a fun thing to do. You could also create a time capsule, something that includes items from this homeschool year. It's things that you want to just remember in the future, and then set a date where you're going to open them in the future. So a time capsule is definitely a fun thing to do. Forward thinking about when you're in the future wanting to look back. You could also plan an adventure. I love going and doing things, and that's a really great way to mark that as your end, especially if you're doing more of a year round. This just kind of like marks the end of the formal school year and kind of starts the summer part of your homeschool. But you could do something at your local park or a zoo or a museum or anything that you have going on in your area right now, just to celebrate the end of the year and kick off summer. And then finally, a movie night. If you all finish, you're marking the end of this with that movie night and having just a nice relaxing evening with the family, having some popcorn or a special meal even beforehand, just to have fun and celebrate You can invite friends over. You can do it with like co-op friends or just other homeschool friends or grandparents or whatever, just to have a good time celebrating the end of a successful homeschool year.
I love that. We have one of those blow up movie screens and we do that and have friends come over. So we do it in the backyard. So
Oh,
it's
that's fun.
such a fun, it's so fun. Oh, well, I was going to talk about some intentional ways you can end the year by expressing gratitude. I love looking for opportunities where we can take time as a family and really deeply ingrain in our children and to remind ourselves to appreciate all the awesome things that we have going on. So one of the ways that you can do this at the end of the year is to spend some time doing some thank you notes. Maybe that's to we have a librarian that my kiddos absolutely adore. Is there a more homeschool thing that you could say? But maybe write them a little note and thank them for how they supported you this year. Maybe it's a coach, maybe it's a leader in a group you're a part of. Maybe it's a family member who helped out with something. My sister has helped my daughter learn to sew, maybe it's to a sibling, but just taking some time to reflect back on the year and the people who've been a part of your homeschooling journey and teaching your kids to embrace and spend some time encouraging them in the way they've encouraged them as well, encourage your child. So I love the idea of thank you notes. And then the other one, this can be really fun, especially for young ones, although I feel like older ones can benefit, right? Would be to do a gratitude tree. So thinking about your year, reflecting, especially if you've gone through the gallery or, the MadLib or the interview, and you've already got some of these like ideas pumping in your head, writing down just on Post-its, on little pieces of paper and setting it up, the little things you appreciate and enjoyed from the year, the little things that you are so grateful for, cuddling with mom on the couch and reading, finishing and getting to have my cake at the end of math, right? Maybe I've heard of people, and my son would love this, but like burning their books or ripping their books apart. Maybe they're grateful they had that opportunity, but just taking some time to appreciate what has come this year, what growth has come this year, and be intentional with our kids about that can be great.
I love that. Love those ideas. So again, we've got ideas for you for reflections. Make sure you're taking time to reflect on your school year, do some celebration activities, and then, of course, expressing gratitude. So make sure that you check out the freebie that's down in the show notes for this episode, where you can grab that end of the year MadLib. It is so fun, so hilarious, and I hope you guys have a really fun time doing that with your kids. And I hope that whatever you do, it is a fun time of celebration. Make sure you take that time, enjoy your kids, enjoy this time of marking the end of a successful homeschool year. And we'll see you next time.